This is Jessica DeFogio. She is a alumni Purchase College, and she also works in the Student Services Building. So, Jess, what does religion mean to you?
To me, religion is a construction, an organization for people to believe in and to have faith in. I believe that religion and the traditions that come with your religion are all, like I said, an organization to help you believe in something, have faith in something, believe that if you pray hard enough or you're a good person, that something better will happen to you or that you'll have a good life. And that, kind of karma things, the things that you put out come back to you. So I believe that religion is a structure for people to kind of come into and believe in something.
And you were raised Catholic?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to a Catholic school for 12 years.
So what do you think of, or what do you feel when you think of religion?
I always feel comfort. I was raised, in a Catholic house. I've, received all the sacraments that I can up until this point. I go to church on Easter, I go to church on Christmas. So to me, it's comfort in the traditions, the comfort in, doing something that's familiar and having that as part of my life. And I want those traditions in my life going forward. When I have a family, I want my child to get baptized, and I want them to have their first communion, and I want to do those traditions, move with those traditions to them. So I feel very comfortable, and I like the idea of the tradition and the faith are behind it. I don't always necessarily agree with everything that, my religion says or preaches, but I think that's okay too.
Are there any specific emotions that come up when you think of anything from your childhood or just the church in general?
No, I've always had good experiences with the church. I've always felt that I was a spiritual, religious person, so I've always found comfort in God and having faith in God, and really soul-searching when I've had difficult times and believing that an answer will come to me, whether that's God or whoever. I just believe that having that faith and having that trust and it's comfortable to me. So I feel good. I feel comfortable when I participate.
So what does spirituality mean to you?
I tend to believe that they're one and the same. I like to say that I'm a more spiritual person only because I don't go to church as often as I should. That's really the only defining reason I call myself more spiritual. I still believe in the things that I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and I don't think that being spiritual means you don't have to believe in those things, but I think that when you don't go to church or I'm not as diehard, Catholic as, some people are, or as, into their religion as some other people are. I don't have, scripture memorized. I can't call upon a specific scripture to reference, but I believe that being spiritual just means having faith in something larger, karma or God or what goes around comes around type of thing, fate, what happens for a reason. So I think that being spiritual or having that feeling is the belief of something bigger than you and having the faith that exists.
So you think you can be both religious and spiritual?
Mm-hmm. I think they're hand in hand.
So you identify as both religious and spiritual?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see your religious upbringing kind of bleeding into you or how you become a member of society or your, values for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe in the tradition of, like I said, of feeling comfortable in the tradition, being baptized. I want to get married in a church. So those are all things that kind of come into me as a person of society or, a grown-up. But what was the rest of the question? Sorry.
Do you see it influence how you participate in society or how you are just as a person?
So yes, I do see it as an influence, but I don't necessarily see all the things that the Catholic Church preaches as part of my life. I'm an analytical person. I have my own mind. I take in what I hear and I go from there and make my own decisions. So I don't always have to believe the things that the church comes out and says, or I don't have to believe one thing is wrong, one thing is not. So I make my own decisions about what I choose to believe and how that influences me. But yes, it does influence me as a person.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jessica. This is Michael Fiola. He's a junior psychology major, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about religion. So, what does religion mean to you?
For me, like I think it involves the ability to believe in something and rationalize things that higher ups wouldn't want to. What's the word? It gives someone something to believe in when they don't have anything to believe in.
Okay. And how were you raised religiously?
I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to a private school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and I was baptized, and then what's the other one?
Communion.
I had communion, and the one that
Confirmed.
Confirmed, yeah, I'm confirmed. My name's Sam. Or no, it's Charlie actually. It was between Charlie and Sam.
So, with it throughout your whole childhood, you found it very prominent in your life?
Oh yeah, it was always there. We didn't go to like church every Sunday, but we went when we could, and every day in school it was that kind of thing.
So, what emotions would come to mind when you think of your experience or the religion as a whole?
Well, what do you mean in like come to mind?
Like how did it make you feel when you were a child?
Well, when I was a child, to be honest, it was really just like a hassle to do during school. But like then when you got older, it was like, oh cool, we just take a break from school, go sit in church, you know. Because our pastor was really funny. He did jokes every day. It was great. But as just like the first thought in my head when I like think of religion or that is just this is the place for people to go when they don't have anything else really.
So it's like, do you think it's a last resort?
I mean, for some people, yeah, but other people will go to it first, and it's what they need, you know.
So, what do you think of when you hear religion? Do you think of specific days or items?
I think of the people that are involved in religion.
So you think of
I think of all the different types of religions that there are, and how I really am interested in how they all interconnect and whatnot. How every religion is basically the same thing, just with very minor variations.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So what does spirituality mean to you?
I think it's the same thing. I think they're interconnected.
You do?
Completely. Yeah.
So, do you identify as religious or spiritual? Or both?
Yeah, I guess if they're the same thing, then I would consider them both. But like, I'm not like, in complete irony, I'm not really a very religious person. I do believe that there's something that we don't know, but I don't want to necessarily pinpoint it into any pigeonhole or whatnot. So I mean, I guess I'd be more spiritual than religious, but in a way, that's the same thing.
So would you consider your religion to be something that gave you maybe a safe feeling, or maybe
it
a
certainly
comforting?
can be for people. I've never had to get to that point in my life where I've had to actually like resort to that, but I do know people that have, and I agree with that in every way.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This is Christina Gagliardi. She's a junior psychology major, and I'm going to ask her a few questions about religion. So, what does religion mean to you?
Religion, in basic terms, to me means a belief system that someone has that they choose to abide by and follow and respect. It's the notion that they can fall back on something that they believe is going to help them through life and their journey and their choices that are maybe not completely in their control.
Okay, and what do you think of when you hear the word religion?
When I hear religion, I think of the concept of a basic belief system where someone chooses to follow and they feel like there's a higher power or something or a God or being that they believe in that will help them kind of figure out their choices that they're going to make throughout life and help guide them.
So you were raised Roman Catholic your
Yes.
entire life. What emotions come to mind when you think of your religion?
Well, when I think of it, I think of something that I have faith and trust in, and it's something that I know if there's something going wrong, I can always fall back on my religion to help me get through it. I was raised Catholic from a young age, and I do understand why people don't follow every single thing, because it's not supposed to be like, you have to do this, you have to follow every little thing. In my mind, it's more of you take what you can get from everything and a whole concept, and you apply it to how you're doing your own stuff in your own life. And that's when I think of someone saying Catholicism or something, I think of how I apply it and how I use it and interpret it.
So do you identify as religious?
Yes. I would say I'm more religious than I am spiritual.
Okay.
Just because when I think of spirituality, I think of like a personal, private type of practice, such as like a meditation type setting, or spiritual to me is not completely as organized as religion. So that's kind of where I apply myself, and I think that I am more religious than spiritual.
So you think you can be both at the same time?
Absolutely. I think you can be a religious person and a spiritual person. I think they correspond. They're not, in my mind, exactly the same. I think religion is more organized, and I think spiritual is more open for interpretation. But I do think you can be both. I would consider myself more religious, but I do consider myself to be and have an aspect of spirituality in it.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina.